I'm going to record this game on my screen, my screen thing.
Sure. That's what I'm.
No, I'm video recording it.
Yeah. Okay. You want me to go ahead? Are you ready? Or...
Yep, I'm done. You can go.
Okay. So this is the target. I'll put the spade on there. I'm going to go after that IP, not the artillery shifted guys.
Okay.
And I'm going to be attacking from here and here. Okay. So
you're attacking into forest, rough with constricted terrain. And I
have 18 attack factors.
I have 14.
You have 14?
Yes.
Seriously? Dude, I thought that was a little pile.
I have 14. That's 1.28. Actually, 1.29. You want to roll to see if you bump up?
So 1.29?
Mm-hmm.
1-1. Well, this is going to be bad. Should have attacked that other friggin' stack, I bet.
No, you're going to be... You're going to be on the 1.25, which is...
1.25.
Which is column D.
Still, that ain't good. So D?
Column D.
All right, let me go find the chart here.
I love it. Those small stacks can be deceiving.
Yeah, you're hiding some big juicies in there. I thought that was a little tiny stack, and I thought, I'm going to go pick on that little stack of two guys.
All right, tell me when you're ready, and I'll read off the shifts.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm going to type them out as you read them.
You have no AS markers. Are you in a vantage point?
One guy.
I'm sorry. This is me. So let me start with me. I don't have an AS marker. I don't believe. Nope, I'm not on a vantage point.
No vantage point.
I do get an IP shift. So we go from D column over to the C. No entrenchment. No leader. I'm not green. Let's see. And I have no one adjacent to you that can give me help. So we are on the C column. Now for you, you're in PA, so you get a shift back in your favor, back to D. You have no AS marker. You have no leader, I don't think. You're not multi-formation. Do you have an engineer with you?
Nope.
No engineer. Wow. Okay.
We're new to this, dude. We never get to attack.
So we're sitting on the D column. Now we're going to go into, let's go to dice modifiers. Combat reserve. You put anyone in combat reserve?
Nope.
Okay, nor did I. Rib. Let's see on your rib. I'm going to check mine.
I have none.
I have none as well. Who's going to be your lead proficiency?
Let me look at my guys. Who do I want?
Mine is a 7.
All of mine are 7s. All my infantry are 7s.
So it's a wash. And you have any tanks coming in?
I do. I do have some M10s.
Okay.
So anti-tank of 3.
All right. So here's what's going to happen. So you have an anti-tank of 3. It's going to get modified down because of the woods. I'm forest, which is a -2, which you can bring in 1. However, my IP, my guy is a 7. I have an anti-tank in there of a 7.
What do you got in there? Like a railgun?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's brutal.
Big Bertha?
So
rolled her up on the train. And
that being said,
okay.
The defender who has anti-tank does not get a modifier against them when firing into forests or anything like that. So you're going to get the full blast. So you take your 1 minus my 7 is a 6. So I have 6, which is going to be 15 points each one. Do you want to see that rule?
You don't take off the anti-tank or the anti-armor first?
Anti-armor.
So you don't do like...
Oh, yeah, so we can
do it.
Yeah, we can do it that way. You're right.
It's, I want to do it the right way, but don't you do like take the 3 off the 7 so it's...
Yes.
It's a difference of 4 and then you don't suffer? Isn't that how you do it? Or
so let's do that. It's yours 3 to my 7. Hold on. Is 4. And you're right. It is a 4. And it stays as that. So there is no other modifiers against you.
Is that right though? Right?
Let's go to rule
book. Like you're not supposed.
Let's go to rule book.
Let's make sure we're doing it. Let's make sure we're doing it right, because I don't want you just to say let's do it that way if you're just doing it to be nice because you're gonna pound the snot out of me.
No, not at all.
Holy cow, man.
Standoff, assault.
Okay, so
here we go. AT versus armor factor, armor, AT limits, and number bonuses.
All right, that's the ground assault ratio. What are we doing here? Because that could be even more brutal. That is going to wipe me off the map.
That's
okay,
right.
So
we're 10
the
points.
Rule 3, anti-tank versus armor factor. The attacker does not have an eligible unit with an armor factor. However, the defender chooses a unit with an armor factor. The attacker may then choose a unit. That's attacker. Oh, the type of let's see. If the attacker's anti-tank factor is less than the defender's armor factor, subtract the attack. Okay, that's not the thing. Type of terrain in the defender's hex may reduce the number of armor anti. After reducing due to terrain, apply all applicable maximum limits. Each armor anti-tank bonus normally work. So it's over. Are you looking at the new rules or not?
I'm looking at 10,
here it is.
I'm looking at 10, 25, 18. Armor versus AT factors. That's what I'm reading right now.
Okay. Yep. The attacker chooses a lead unit with armor. Defender chooses a unit with anti-tank. If the attack's armor factor and the defender are equal, blah, blah, blah. If the defender's anti-tank is less than the attacker, blah, blah. If the defender's anti-tank is greater.
Here it is. It says it right here. If the defender's AT factor is greater than the attacker's armor factor, do not apply terrain, population features, or defense work modifiers. Subtract the attacking armor factor from the defender's AT factor. The resulting value is the number of defense bonuses awarded.
Okay, so you still get 4.
4, and each one of those 4s is times 10. So it's 40 to the dice modifier.
It's minus 40.
And that is,
so
you know,
is that like a big 88 or something there?
See,
what the heck is it?
It would say that, but you know how we know from Hurricane, we know what the 88s are, but it's a different counter. So it has to be an 88. It must be an 88.
I got to hide from whatever the frick it is, I'll tell you that.
But it's not telling me what kind. But it's a heavy anti-tank, so
it's brutal is what it is.
So you were correct.
That's the last modifier.
But you were correct. So we minus your armor from my AT, and it gives it a 4. And each one's worth 10 points. So that's 40 to the dice roll. And so we're on the D column, and it's a minus 40.
Minus 40 on the D column. Okay. I'll roll here.
67
so 27
becomes 27.
And what do you get?
I need a low roll, Steve.
No, 99, dude.
Oh,
91 or 90. So 50.
That's awful.
So my 27, I'm pretty sure, is going to be a nothing.
It's off the chart.
Nope.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And then what was yours then? A 50?
Oh,
that's a 1-1.
Oh, I could have done so much damage. So 1-1.
I know. I got lucky there.
1 discretionary, 1 mandatory. Yeah, you call out a 90 something, of course it comes out.
All right. Well, the mandatory has to come off my lead unit, so I'll flip him because I already knew who my lead unit was. Let me mark him or I forget. Well, I had 1 infantry loss when we started, and I'm up to 3, so I can just about call one, I think. So when you do the discretionary, can I retreat 1 and not worry about the discretionary? Is that how it works on the attack?
Correct. So with the discretionary, you can retreat and satisfy that 1.
You don't have to make a roll or anything. That's only if you try to hold, right?
That's only if you try to hold.
Okay, I'll do that. I want to get away from that freaking thing, whatever it is.
Now, when you retreat, I have to look that up. I believe both stacks have to retreat.
Yeah, I think they do. Can they split when they retreat if I want, or no?
Yes, because you can't. You're not going to be able to go into the same hex because you're different stacking and limits.
Okay, so I think I'll go. My goodness, dude. Trying to figure out where I want to go here. Well, that didn't add anything.
Constricted terrain is brutal to fight in because you can't bring in your full force.
Yeah. Well, so is running into an anti-tank of 7. That was brutal.
I know. Hover over my unit and you can see how devastating this thing is.
Holy crap, he's a 9 defense too?
Yes, he is.
And he has a stop thing. He can make my guys in the open stop. Wonder what he is. He's motorized. Wonder if it's like a huge vehicle that they slapped an 88 in or something as a tank.
I've seen 88s on wheels that they have, but mostly in I saw them in the Africa Corps.
Gosh darn it. Now I got myself into a mess. Okay, I think we're just going to back up. I don't want to do that. I'll do that, I guess. That did not go very well. All right, this should go better, I would hope. So let's go over to next. Will be your out-of-command guy here.
Your guy that you retreated up north has to go south towards your headquarters, unless your headquarters is somewhere.
My headquarters is considered off the map.
Down south.
So,
right?
What about overstacking? Can I overstack temporarily then? Or
You can. We can go to that rule. It's been a while since we've been playing. I believe you can overstack.
I don't have a choice. If the whole stack has to go toward the HQ, then they got to go that way.
Go do your thing on the other part, and I'll find the stacking part.
Okay, so I think it says you can temporarily for retreating.
That's what I always
I think
remembered.
you can overstack all you want, but there's a penalty if you get attacked while you're overstacked. Okay, so I'm attacking you with 16. You have 7.
Where are we going?
Your little surrounded guy up here.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm at 7. And we're just in regular forest. Forest rough.
That's a 2.29 to 1. Oh, so 2 to 1.
So it's 2 to 1, and we're in forest rough, which is a line 3. So G column.
Okay, the G column.
Let's start with myself for the shifts. No AS marker for me. I'm not on a vantage point. No IP, no entrenchment, no leader. And I have no one adjacent to me to help me. So we just stay on the G column for now.
Okay.
Now your shifts. You're in PA, so shift in your favor. So we go from G to H. You have no AS markers. No, you're not green. Do you have a leader that can help you?
No.
You're not multi-formation.
Nope.
Doesn't matter about engineer because I'm not in the entrenchment. So that's it. We're in the H column. So we're going to stop there.
Okay.
Dice modifiers. Combat reserve. Anyone?
I don't have any.
Nor do I. Rib.
I have 1.
So you get plus 5.
Plus 5.
Proficiency. Well, plus 10, right? You have 2 units.
Oh yeah, I have 2. Yep. Sorry.
So it's plus 10. Your proficiency, I believe I'm a 7. Yes.
Both of mine are 7. I'm just gonna mentally pick which guy is gonna be the lead attacker. The guy furthest west will be the lead.
And you coming in with armor?
Yeah, they're mixed units.
So
my armor is a 4.
And I'm a 4 for AT, so that washes away.
Well, that's a lot better than the last one.
Yes, it is. So
it's a
we're
plus
on
10.
H column with a plus 10 to the dice.
Oops. I accidentally hit 120. That'd be nice. 75.
75. And I'm going to roll. 83.
3.
So nothing for me against you. And you're 75. You're going to get a 1-1 against me. So I have to take them both as step loss. And I believe I'm eliminated. Yes, I am. So let me move this out and put this in my elimination box because they were destroyed.
Was the 83 off the board for you, or did you get me? Is the H column?
I didn't get anything against you. Nothing. I was off the board.
And in this game, do you have to advance somebody?
No. There's so many rules in our head.
Yeah, I know.
I don't believe I think it's our choice.
Okay. I don't need to advance.
Okay, I gotta find out this guy.
Yep, go ahead. I gotta go look up something anyway.
My replacements and stuff.
Well,
since
we
I
have
lost him.
not only is it not only is it all the rules in our head, we haven't played this for almost 2 months because of getting sick and stuff like that. You know, I
I
was
know.
down for almost all of October. I'm going to grab a quick snack and then I got to look up a rule quick.
Do your thing. Okay, it's a 5. That was in the 7th Army. Okay. And the other one is a mech unit. It's 1 infantry. Okay, Steve, I took my my losses on top. Okay. I took my my step losses on the top.
Okay, I'm working on my administrative phase here. Doing supply determination segment.
Okay. Let me know when you get up to replenish artillery, because I'm going to have to replenish some of my artillery.
Okay, I'm just checking the weather conditions. I don't remember what it was.
I think we're in
Oh,
clear.
we had normal.
Normal.
We had
yes.
normal for once. I gotta check. I might have guys in supply now.
Why does this guy have 2? He should only have 1 on him. That should be gone. What you eating there? Sounds good.
I'm trying to chew quiet.
That's
Sorry.
okay. That's
I was
okay.
having just some tortilla chips, and those round tortilla chips,
Oh,
plain.
yes.
I didn't have supper, so uh, I need a little bit of a snack. Didn't realize my mic was that good. Let's see.
Okay, let me take these markers off. Artillery. Who fired? It's very costly to spend an ammo point to get one artillery back in action.
Yeah.
However, my ADV is so low. It's unreal. Oh, let me look up that stacking rule. Yes, so retreating, you can retreat into another stack and overstack as long as you fix it on your next friendly movement phase.
Yeah.
Okay, it is optional. Advancing, you may advance into a defending hex. You're not required to.
Okay. I'm going to have to spend all my ammo.
Oh, they get those units back in replenishment.
Yes. I have a lot of guys that are low on ammo. All right, mutual ammo.
Okay, I will spend, because we have to spend, 1 ammo point, and I will bring this guy back. I think that is all for me. Let's double check.
Yeah, my ADV is 3. Yowzer. He'll stay. Oh, what do I do, Clay?
Leave him depleted. That's what I would do.
I was. Let's see what I got there. That's that and that. Oh, maybe I'll just roll. How bad is that? That's 4 guys I got to roll for them. All right, so right there. Ooh, got one. Take it. Nope, not him. Not him either. Come on, fellas. Oh. Okay. No. Is there any other ones? All right, that's it for First Army. Now down to Third Army. How bad are they? I was looking pretty good on artillery until I got a little excited and went crazy down south. Oh, I might have to spend 1 down here, though. Holy smokers. What I got there? 1, 2. these two. Check same ADV. Yep. Dang it. All right, I can't not spend one on these dudes down here. That's just gonna, okay, so spending one. For third army, for sure. Because that's gonna get ugly. All right, so who do I want to spend that on? So we better do that, dude. Those two dudes there. All right, I got two more I got to roll. Put my marker. There it is. Roll him first. Hey! He's the sucky one, though. Didn't want him. Hey! Got them all back down south. Fatigue recovery. Might have one guy on that. I think I'm good, though. All right, it is your turn finally after 2 months.
So you did your fatigue recovery, correct?
Yeah, I don't think I have anybody. I thought I had one guy in the middle, but I think he recovered a while back.
Okay, it's the Axis mode determination phase. Which units do I want to put into attack, and which artillery is going to go in and out of battery? So I'll work it from different sections. I'll stay in the 6th Army section first, up north. We haven't done any battles up here in a while. Think it's time again?
I'm good.
Every time we poke our head out, we always get smashed by your artillery.
There's a lot of artillery up there.
I know there is. Let's get in close here. I need a better view.
No Jeff tonight, huh?
Oh, I forgot to reach out to him. You want to?
That's fine.
Let me flip.
I think he does something at like 8 o'clock anyway, doesn't he? We can let him know next time.
What to do here? What to do?
There hasn't been a lot of people doing live stuff lately.
Is this guy? Oh, he's not. Okay. No, there hasn't been a lot going on.
When you did your, if you're trying to think, just tell me to bugger off. But
No, you can talk while I'm thinking.
when you launched your early morning attack, did you only launch with a few key divisions and let the other ones sit for the first day?
Yes.
Okay. because I was comparing our files with the BCS, and I was like, either Clay didn't do a lot of attacking on this December 16th and 17th, or BCS gives a lot more flexibility. I want to see historically how that works too, as far as their results. You know, to see if it's reasonable. Although that guy that was playing it, he was getting a lot of activation rolls and a lot of full activation, and I was like, man, the Germans are just crushing the Allies. I don't see how. You know, I was trying to think of Wacht am Rhein. I'm like, I don't think the Germans could do that well in Wacht am Rhein.
Yeah, so you've played both of the systems, and is it tough for terrain here and moving around with the mud, constricted terrain, all that good stuff?
Well, where they do that is on the snafu roll.
Mm-hmm.
And he was making all of his snafu rolls, which I mentioned that to him on one of his videos. I said, wow, you're really clocking the Allies. And he goes, yeah, this has been a really good one. But he said a lot of times it doesn't happen. He said that to him is what gives it replayability, is it's not like a chess game where you know this division's going to punch out to here, because if they fail a snafu roll, they're going to drag their feet.
Mm.
So he likes that. I don't mind it. I'd say this one feels more restrictive, but I haven't played enough of it because I've been playing Baptism by Fire. So I could play a complete game of something. I switched over to that. And I still have my last Blitzkrieg one going, but I don't know. I'd like to get your feeling on it sometime. I still want to do my thing. I want to play Wacht am Rhein 1 turn or 1 day, whatever the equivalent is. So like on BCS, you do 1 turn, that's a day. So in Wacht am Rhein, I'd have to play three turns. I'd have to do AM, PM, and night turn. And then see where stuff ends up and if it's comparable.
Mm. To see if it, to see which one's more realistic.
Yeah. Well, and to see, compared to historical results and how far do they get? Does one game let them get 3-4 times further than they should? Mm-hmm. Or does one game only let them at best get half the distance they should? I mean, like I said, neither you or I are interested in just replaying history, but it should still be able to give you similar results if you're doing the same stuff. They're two different. To me, it's two different games, though. You got Great Battles, American Civil War, and you got Line of Battle. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. They just have different core mechanics, and I like them both. That's kind of how I'm ending up with BCS. I wouldn't say it's better than GOSS or GOSS is better than it. They're just two different systems, but I like them both. I still think GOSS for me is a little more crunchy and meaty and a little more... Like, I don't like in BCS you can't break your units down, really.
Oh, you cannot?
No, everyone stays in battalion. They don't have any companies, at least not that I'm aware of. But it has stuff about it I like, so... I mean, based on how long you and I have been playing this, we'd probably be done with last Blitzkrieg.
That's for sure. I'm just trying to see.
I mean, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to me. It's not a race. I enjoy the process, so I don't care about. Some guys be like, "Well, I wouldn't want to play a game that long." And it's like I look forward to playing every time we sit down, so I don't know why it would matter.
Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely.
Like and to me, every time this is a little different because we haven't played for 2 months, but tonight I just learned, okay, a little stack isn't necessarily a little stack. Not when he's got a big Bertha hiding on a railgun over there. Like we walked in on your secret German weapons facility and just got smoked. I'll probably start on that because now it's wintertime here, so it's 30 degrees out. It's dark at 5:15, 5:30 now. So I think I'm going to start doing that one. I'm going to do that with all those different games and record it and then post a video about the differences and how they played.
Kind of like what this guy's doing. What's his name? Nathan, History Wise Guy or Wise Guy History.
Oh, is he doing that with Bulge?
He is doing that right now. He did it with OCS, I believe, and East Front Series. I think he did a comparison between the two types of system.
All right.
No, but do what you're going to do. He's not doing a bulge.
You ever hear of the game Attack in the Ardennes by Games Design Workshop?
What's the name again?
Attack in the Ardennes by GDW?
No.
Okay. It's totally not your kind of game. Okay. It's a point-to-point system. But it's the very first war game I ever bought, so I got a soft spot for it.
How does it play out?
I bought well, I'm not sure on historical accuracy. It's a fun Battle of the Bulge game. But whenever you attack, each attack, you have a road that goes from point to point. You have primary, secondary, and tertiary roads, right? Mm-hmm. A primary road, you can send 2 divisions down or 6 units, right? So if they're not a complete division and they're mixed, otherwise you can send 2 divisions down that road to attack. A secondary road, you can send 1 complete division, or I think it's 4 units. And a primary road, you can only ever send 2 units down, and it's basically like the trail, and only one of them can be the attacker, the other one's a reinforcer. And then, so you move all your stuff, and you have your primary attack coming down the road, but any other roads connecting, you can bring reinforcements on. And then when you fight that battle, you pull all the pieces off that square, the defender, and what's attacking him. And you fight around, you line up, you basically create your front lines and who's shooting at who, and they have anti-armor values or not, right? And then after each round, you choose to either stand your ground and keep fighting, or you can bring one the defender also gets to allocate reinforcements after the attacker's done. And then you can pull 1 reinforcement off of each road that has guys coming down it. So it's like a little mini battle. And you have artillery. So if you have artillery in the hex, they're not on the front lines. They sit in the back and they can lob shells at any unit they want. And then there's rules on, and if your unit gets hit twice, it's off the board. It's dead. If it gets hit once, it's suppressed. And if you decide to retreat, that you don't lose it. And then they have a similar mechanic for culling. So for every 3 units you lose, you randomly roll to pick one of those units up, and it goes into your replacement pool, and the other 2 are permanently eliminated.
You need to put this on one of your YouTube screens and or videos and play it out so I can see it.
I'll do it. It's kind of a cheesy game, but it's at the time it was $16 brand new, which is like $1 zillion for me when I was like 11. And I got it for $11 because the box had been crunched and they were selling it at a discount at the game store in town here. It was an intermediate game, and it took me. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what an odds ratio meant. I was like, how are they figuring that out? I didn't know any of that. Like, I didn't know, how do you take those numbers and get them to 3-1? What? So it's in the rule book. Well, when you download the Vassal mod, so I created a module for it on Aid to Camp 2, but somebody created a Vassal module with scanned images and even the rule book, because the rule book's 8 pages.
Oh, so it's an 8-page rule book, so you can just throw it on your table and start playing right away.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can skim through the rules. The only part I have to read is how to do the combat, because there's a few things that are interesting that you have to remember, which make it interesting. It's a fun little game. I mean, it's not gonna. I'm not a big point to points, guy, like where you have like a square and a line going to another square, and that's your movement path. I don't really care for that.
I agree with you.
But I got a soft spot in my heart for it because it was the first game I ever had. And then somebody scanned it all. I still own it, and I thought the map was so huge. I mean, the map is probably not. It's probably barely one Wacht and Rhein map.
And how old is this game?
Well, it was Games Design Workshop. I think it was like
80s?
82 or something.
Okay.
I think it was early 80s.
The same people who made Europa. Am I correct?
Yep. You ever see A House Divided, the Civil War game?
I've seen it, but not the game. I saw the box.
It's the same point-to-point system that they used in that, except, different rules. And the way you attack is like you have a factor on your unit. So let's say you have an attack factor of 3 is pretty good, 4 is excellent, 2 is and then there's some 1s. Mm-hmm. When you hit with that, you basically say this one's attacking this one, and you have to roll that number or less to get a hit. So it's pretty abstract. I mean, and if you have a red circle, you're anti-tank. Otherwise, you -1 if you're firing at a silhouetted unit with armor. And then some tanks for the Germans have a -1 on the bottom right-hand corner, which means no matter who's attacking them, they take a -1 to hit. So, like Panthers and stuff. So it's fun. They got the oversized counters. I used to love because you have the different Panzer divisions and the black and white. That's fun.
Well,
couldn't get anybody to play with me.
Actually, we were talking about this. That's the most important part. If you're having fun with the game, that's all that matters.
Yep. Yeah.
I just happen to have fun with crunchy games.
Yeah. Well, that's who you play with too.
That's for sure.
I mean, I don't think I've ever not enjoyed playing with you ever. There's some guys I would never play with again because it's like, nope, did that. Don't need to do that again in my lifetime. Jeff is hard to play with, especially on Vassal.
He doesn't like Vassal. He can't stand Vassal.
Yeah, but he also kind of jumps around a lot. That's why when we do BCS, I want it to just be you and I because I don't want to have to go, whoa. He jumps all over the place and try, And it's like, dude, you get in the cart before the horse here. And then he gets frustrated because it's Vassal and he can't find something, and then it's just, oh, this sucks. It's like, dude, just relax.
Oh, I love it.
So,
let's see what are we...
I'm going to go to my store this weekend. One of the historical groups that come sent me an invite. They said, are you going to come join us this weekend? Because they haven't seen me since like June. We're going to play a big 7 years war battle with miniatures, the Prussians against the Austrians.
That should be nice.
That'll be fun. They always put on a big game. They got good terrain, good miniatures. Everything's painted nice. So I told them, I said, yeah. I said, let me check and make sure we don't have plans Saturday. And then I emailed them back today and said, I'll be there about 1 o'clock for about 3 hours. So that'll be fun. Be the first time I've actually gamed in my store since probably spring.
Really?
Yeah. And well, we haven't done a lot of events either because we try to run events even without the COVID restrictions. People just aren't coming out like they used to. A lot lower turnout. Although last weekend we were hopping, we had 3 tournaments going on and the store was packed. I went over there for about a half an hour to say hi to some people and stuff, and it was a lot of fun to see the store busy.
Now, it's big with miniatures by you, where people go into your store to play those. That's a big thing. They don't.
Yeah, we had a big 40K tournament.
They don't throw down um, what do you call it again? A board game, a war game, board game.
Sometimes, not really the hex and counter stuff though. I had a group I was doing about once a month. I had a hex and counter day,
Uh huh.
and they've been asking me that. They've been telling me, they said, yeah, we need to get that going this winter again. So we get together. You're kind of limited on what you can play because, I mean, if you got 4 or 5 hours, and we can't leave it set up all the time because there's always events going on, right? So we'd play stuff like GMT stuff. I think one time we played the Normandy 44. We just played the 8-turn scenario, and we finished it in a day. We played some of their, I don't know what they are, but they're like, well, they're point-to-point system, but they're like ancient. It's a map of the ancient world. So one is it the successors after Alexander the Great died and all of his generals are fighting?
Oh, I have no clue.
Stuff like that. So more board games, but not really. The guys I play with, they're afraid of GOSS. They tease me all the time. And I tease them all the time for not playing. You know, so they'd be like, "Oh, it's just too much work." It's like, dude, you play games that are just as complicated.
Too much. I explain that one to me. Too much work.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
trying to figure out what that means.
They want a 30-page rule book and something that they more of a board game, I guess, is the way the stuff we've mostly played. I let them kind of pick because they're the customers and stuff. Even though I become friends with them, I kind of let them pick what they want to play because I want them to be interested, not just whatever. So, and I can play just about any game and have fun, but I'm only going to put my personal time into certain games. My one friend Chris will play. And I didn't care for it. It's the only Bulge game I haven't liked was Bulge. Is it Bulge 44 or something or whatever the Ardennes 44 by GMT. I didn't care for how that one played.
There's something about GMT games that I haven't found that I like so much.
Yeah.
Like the ones that you're talking about.
Yeah, I like the Normandy 44 game because you could sit down and play Normandy in like a day. And it was also one of the first Normandy games I had, so it was intriguing because I was new to the history of it. But when it comes down to it, I'd rather play Atlantic Wall, or I would consider it a lighter game would be Battle for Normandy. And that's a GMT game, and I like that one. That one's a little more crunchy.
Mm-hmm. I like that game.
But, yeah, and they're re-releasing, they're going to reprint it here hopefully pretty soon, so I want to grab a copy of that. It'll probably be next year, but I'd like to get that one.
Let's see here. This can go here.
To me, that would be, well, if BCS would do a Normandy one with the beach landings and then pushing inland, I think I'd be pretty thrilled with that.
You would, huh?
I think so, because I really have liked the BCS system. You don't have to look up. He's really good with his charts. I feel like I'm forgetting stuff all the time because there's so little to look up. Like I start feeling like paranoid. Like, am I forgetting something? This is too easy. But then it's got a lot of complexity because, like in the BCS system, I don't know how OCS and all that works, but in BCS you have different attack types. So you have these armored units. They're called hard armor. They're a red armor number.
Okay.
And those you want to basically go out. You roll up your unit, your snafu roll, and that lets you know if you can place 1 or 2 objectives. And a lot of times when you place 2 objectives, you stack them, and it's called a double tap. And you can attack any enemy units within 2 hexes of there, and you get a bonus. Or if you really need to, you can put it at 2 different objectives, and then you can still attack. You have to have an objective within 2 of the hex, or you can't attack it. The exception is you can use the AV units can run out and they can engage a target. And what they'll usually do is drive other armor back or take damage if they roll bad. Or same thing with infantry, they'll push them around, get them out of the way. And then they can keep moving until they've done 2 attacks and they're done. The other thing I kind of like is you can use recon, and they can place an objective if you make a skill check for them, basically roll their AV or less, I think it is. Mm-hmm. So you can create an objective, pound a hole there, then you can rip through that hole. And there's some interesting stuff there. If you fight a close fight, you'll get a traffic marker, which means anything moving in there has to stop, which sucks. Because you really do have to use the roads if you want to do the blitzkrieg type movements. Because if you're trying to go across land, it's not very good in that game either. Not for, Battle of the Bulge anyway. It's not so bad on Baptism by Fire because it's 1 movement point per hex versus half. But Battle of the Bulge, there's certain terrain where if a vehicle moves in it, it moves 1 hex and it's done. So, it's got just different attacks. You have engagements. You can do with the trying to think what they call it. Basically, an overrun with armor. It's not as effective. You can't use as much of our artillery, but you can use a little bit. You can use your artillery and you can bomb people in an objective if you want. Or you can attack a hex and use the artillery for suppression, or you can use the artillery in just different ways, right? You can use it to do if you're attacking in an objective, if you're attacking with units, you can either use it to suppress or try to knock out steps, one or the other. That's it. You get one choice. And you spend artillery points. So the artillery is a little more vague. It basically makes a little bit cleaner the board, I guess. But I don't know, it's fun. Again, to me, it doesn't replace GOSS. I like the look of GOSS a little bit more, although their games are attractive.
No, but we'll get a time, you and I, to sit down and play out a couple of turns on BCS.
Yeah.
And see how it plays out. Because like I told you, I've been watching different videos with everyone doing that, like the tabletop guy and Hex.
Yeah, Tabletop Edge.
Tabletop Edge. Jeff doing his, and then there was someone else doing theirs. And I know Blue Tweezers was doing his as well. But
okay.
I don't think he likes the system as much.
Oh, he doesn't?
He made a comment on one of the podcasts that he called it Hollywood. Because
is he the one that doesn't like?
A lot of people don't like the abstraction of the artillery. It's too abstract.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't bother me. I still enjoy it, but it's different. I like the look of GOSS. Like, I'm sitting here watching you, and you got these nice markers. I love silhouetted vehicles for armor. They don't have that. They have all NATO symbols, which is fine. They did add color strips now, I think, starting with Panzer's Last Stand. Maybe they are in Last Blitzkrieg, too. Or no, they're not in Last Blitzkrieg. They're in Panzer's Last Stand, and is it Brazen Chariots, maybe? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I know they're in Panzer's Last Stand, but they added color strips so that divisions are easier to see. That doesn't bother me because it's a pretty clean game, but I like GOSS, like the division color. It's a very busy counter in GOSS, I think, but everything is in a good spot, and it's something that it registers easy with me.
Yes.
You know, the white strip signifies certain, units that are, add-on units or support units. You flip it over and you got the grayish strip. Stuff like it. To me, it just sticks out perfectly where I can recognize by looking at the board what's going on very quickly.
Interesting. I like that. Me, it's the maps. Yeah. Besides the system, it's the map. The map captures me first. And
the map.
OCS
maps
awesome. And BCS maps, they're both the same artist, I guess. It doesn't. Mm-hmm. It feels too cartoonish.
Sure. BCS, I think, is probably similar. They're
Yeah.
not as attractive.
Yes, because they're the same artist as OCS, so it has that cartoon effect.
Yeah. Yep. I don't mind the maps, but I prefer GOSS. GOSS to me, you feel like you get a bird's eye view if you were looking down at the terrain. Dude, you're not gonna like the next file for line of battle.
Really? Not good? My orders didn't come through, or it came in shitty?
No, it wasn't an order issue. It was me not being able to roll and hit anything with Cutler's brigade didn't do a thing. I just shot at everybody, and I think I caused one morale check. It was like, jeez.
That's not good.
So,
Okay, I finished with my mode determination axis.
okay,
Mode determination finished.
so you're on construction.
Away
Nope, not allied.
on axis construction. Let's see. There's not too many people. I know I was building somewhere. Like this should not be there. Where was I building? There was one that I was building, but it's complete.
Am I not following you? Oh, I didn't center on your moves. You were doing all these shenanigans, and I wasn't watching.
Oh yeah, I dropped a lot of PAs out there.
I see that. Holy cow, dude. I guess you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's not looking good for the dude sitting just southeast of Winterscheid.
Where is that?
That's where you have 4 prepared assault things, and
Oh,
then
I see where you mean. Yes.
I think it's the 62nd VG, if that's who those are under there, and then you got SS and Panzer Grenadiers north of them.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, and you're going to town on my line up there with the 2nd and the 99th. That's my big nasty pocket that's been holding with the artillery in it. That ain't gonna be good.
No, it's not. Well, it depends. It depends on how your artillery blasts me.
That's true. I guess my artillery blasted you good today on the attack, but it was my ground attacks that weren't so brilliant. And then I ran out of ammo. I had to spend it.
Okay. The only one, and I'll just put it for him. And for him. And it will be, I'll finish that on a quick construction because I have an engineer in those stacks. So done with construction. Write that.
All right, on the movement then, I guess.
Demo, none. So we're not going to do any demolition. We're not going to blow any bridges. And it's my movement phase. Do I want to put units in combat reserve? How about that, Steve? Do I want to put units in combat reserve?
I was thinking you should probably put a bunch of guys in maneuver reserve and let them sit for about a week.
That can work. Oh, I forgot my rule for combat reserve. Let me look it up again. Forgot how many steps it must be.
I think it's a 2-step battalion. I can look it up if you want to look at where you want to do stuff.
Could you? And find out, it must be leg. I believe it has to be leg. Is that correct?
I think it can be mixed, but I'll find out.
Okay.
And I think I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 hexes, but I'll read it out to you when I get it here. It's right here.
Yeah, it's three hexes away.
All right, so during friendly movement, we mark any tactical mode unit with a CR, a personnel type unit in tactical mode, not adjacent to an enemy, a battalion size unit with at least 2 steps.
That's it, battalion with at least 2 steps.
You may not designate a unit as a CR if the unit is a company, 1 or 2 steps, or a battalion-sized unit with only 1 step remaining, an RE unit, OOS, so out of supply, out of command, or marked fatigue level 1 or 2 cannot be combat reserve. So, yeah. And you can leave it on there until an enemy gets adjacent to you, or you move it, or a fire support mission hits it. An AS or better, or if you use it to defend a GA.
Oh, I missed something here.
Sure.
It's okay. Shit.
I should say too, Clay, that the BCS I'm not playing with any alternate rules, and they may change. They may make it a lot more crunchy. I don't know. Because you can add a command phase where you have to give orders, and they have to follow those orders.
There was an attack I wanted to do with these as well.
Sure. Okay. So they do have a number of add-on rules, and I'm not playing with any of those because I've never played it, so I'm just trying to get used to it before adding anything.
Okay.
So one of them would be similar to GOSS, where if you have 2 mechanized units move into the same hex, they just stop. Where in that game you can move through units unless there's a traffic marker. So, like, if you attack my infantry in this town or whatever, it doesn't have to be a town, but let's just say it's a town. You attack with you got some guys attacking with some support, and I get a good enough defensive result, but I still have to leave. It'll say traffic, and you have to put it, when your guy advances there, you put a traffic marker on it, which basically means that it caused such a jumble of stuff and confusion and chaos that anybody moving through there is going to have to stop. So as a defender, you can try to clog up roads and stuff that way a little bit.
I saw that when this guy was playing on his playthrough. He got a result with the traffic. Okay, I did my combat reserves. Now we're going to get into movement. I will move the units. Let me write that movement.
Dude, what are you doing? You got all these attack markers now.
Absolutely.
Was it like a fourth quarter 2021 thing or what?
No, there's some spots that me chipping away little by little open up some like little spots that I can now take advantage of.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work my
Dude,
way
I
up
really
from the
thought
600.
the 4th Infantry Division attack was really going to be more brilliant than it was.
What's that? Say that again.
I really thought my 4th Infantry Division attack down south was going to be way more brilliant than it was.
Could have been devastating. It could have been. Thank God it did. It didn't play out the way you wanted it.
Thank God the commander's a buffoon down there. Because he screwed up and ran right into your mega gun.
So we're gonna do road movement first.
Okay.
Okay.
This really got me itching. I wanted to play the one day of each Battle of the Bulge game now and record the results and then put up a video on it. I'm going to have to start working on that too. In between line of battle files.
So that's 3, and this is 6 to here.
Those are nice looking markers, though, aren't they? That orange on black.
I know. The SS markers are always sexy looking.
Yeah, those are my high school colors, black and orange. What'd you do? What'd you do back in high school? You into sports, or what'd you do?
Yes, I was into sports, but mostly math.
Okay.
And I was very good with math. Also into skateboarding and hardcore. So we used to go a lot to.
Oh, sure.
We used to go a lot to CBGBs and go slam dancing to a Gnostic Front, Minor Threat, and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
I played
it was a
football.
mixed bag. But football was my favorite, yes.
Yeah, I played football and then war games.
Now, did you play the Hex Encounter war games, or did you play
Yeah, that was the first war game I ever bought was that Attack in the Ardennes.
Okay.
And then I started adding to my collection, but the problem was I could get my buddies to play like Risk or Axis and Allies maybe, but they wouldn't play much more complicated than that. So I would play solo, and I had this piece of plywood, and I would play it on that, and then slide it under my bed because my brother and I shared a room. And I had victory games of Civil War back then. And
Can I get that guy up there? Yeah, so he can go 1, 2, and that's 5.
you're just not giving up there, are you?
I'm making my maneuvers.
I see that. Huh.
Let's see. The thing about wargaming, it's the movement section and thinking about what to do, and that's time. That's where it takes up most of the time. But it's all war games like that because you're sitting, you're thinking what you need to do, and then
Yeah.
you have to move the pieces and so on and so forth. The combat stuff, that's quick because you know it like the back of your hand once you know the system.
That's like I keep trying to tell people that are on these Facebook pages that whine about GOSS. I'm like, just find someone that'll run you through a couple of battles, a couple of turns, and you're easy peasy. Not that hard.
No, it's not. Look how fast we ran through those 2 battles down below and through the artillery. Where do I want to bring that unit?
This is our 17th turn.
what I'm gonna do is let's bring this guy up. First of all, let me see the road. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's stop here.
I think I'm home all by myself and I didn't know it.
Oh, everyone took off? Your family?
I thought my wife was here, but I muted my mic and I hollered a couple times and no one answered. So she's either got headphones on somewhere or I don't remember her leaving, but maybe she took off to the store or something. Let's see if her car's there. Nope, I'm all by myself. Well, I got you, I guess.
This is 9, this is 12. Can they make it up there? If I go backwards, half, 1.5, 6.5. I'm gonna have to stop here. Shoot. So I can go back. And we can land right here. And he'll do the same. Oops, he was here. He goes back here, up here, up here. Alright, that's my road movement, and I'm just gonna move my guys. These guys will go here. This guy can go here.
I do think Dean writes a good set of rules.
He does. Look how sexy that looks up there. Nice and neat.
Yeah.
All ready to do
Stretching the
some
line.
Yes. And
Stretching the line out. Lots of constricted terrain. No tanks want to be up there.
got some engineers to do a little bit of damage. So what I can do, I could do one movement. Like so. Okay, so that's all my movement up north. Now let me do my PA movements up north. How was I going to do this now? Oh, I know what I was going to do. Actually, this stack here is going to move forward, but the stack underneath is going to move this way. And then these guys. These guys.
Not looking too good there. That was a pretty sweet line for a while.
And we was gonna do. That's what I want to do, and I want to move these guys this way. It's supposed to be that. He backs up, goes in that hex, and they go into this hex. Okay. Oh, I still got more in the 6th Army section.
You know you like a game when you can sit and watch your opponent move for a chunk of the evening and you're still having fun.
Exactly. Oh, what happened? Why did that just... That was weird. My screen, I touched the counter and it scrolled downward. So we're going to take
Really?
these guys this way and into here. And he'll go into here. We will take this guy up the road.
I might have to start that this weekend on that bulge video, just on the side, in between line of battle stuff. This is really getting me jacked for Battle of the Bulge stuff playing this tonight. That's the thing all week, Clay. I've just been wanting a game all week. Like since Monday. So I was pumping out those line of battle on the weekend and Monday and Tuesday.
That's what happens when you haven't played in a while. You just like get that urge. Let's start playing again. I know I do.
I still think we hosed you on some of this when we were playing. I think we made it too tough on you.
You think?
I think we did. I think we did some rules wrong that made it more difficult for you to push out. I mean, we're still having fun, but I think you'd be further pushed out if. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, those SS counters are always like the black on yellow. That just looks sweet. That's just good stuff.
Well, I need to break through somewhere.
You know what?
I need to break through.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Is that come down here? Oh. Him, or I can attach it to him.
Did you want to? We've only been playing the first and third Wednesday. Did you want to add the fifth Wednesday every time? Because twice a year there's a fifth Wednesday.
Yeah, if we're free, definitely.
Yeah. Then it's more like an every other Wednesday instead of the first and third only. I don't want to crash your schedule, but I'd really like to keep moving along, and I really do enjoy the. I think this has been a big, trying to think of the right word, a big thing of helping get through the isolation of COVID and stuff, that we could get together and play.
I know.
I mean, I like playing solo, but it's a lot more fun to have somebody else do stuff you're not expecting,
Okay, this is non-road movement. I agree with you. I don't want to do that yet. Let me see something.
Some big stuff you're moving up there, Clay.
Yes. Yes.
So that big OKW guy you moved up there, that's a Yeg Tiger, I think.
Yes.
That might be a Yeg Panther. Is he a 4 if he's attacking and a 7 if he's defending?
Correct. And he's a 5.
Oh, okay.
His armor factor is a 5, and his anti-tank is a 7.
Yeah, because he's a tank hunter. He looks like he's a J, so that would be Yeg. So he's a hunter panther. Yeah, because a J5 would be the tiger. And that's a panther body anyway. I guess I've been playing this a while, and I didn't know they had units that had different attack and defense value for armor, or anti-tank and armor. I didn't know that. I did not know.
So, I can go... let me do it this way. It should go this way, actually. 1, 2, 3...
The old 352nd.
5, 6, 7, 8 will put me here.
Squaring off against the big red one and the 29th ID on D-Day.
I have plans for these guys, as you can see.
I see that. Well, you got a lot of plans this turn. This is starting to get ugly. I like it, though. I thought about seeing if you'd want to start over since we kind of biffed you at the beginning.
No, I don't mind. Because there's certain things I'm seeing.
Okay. It has been a blast. I'll tell you, I appreciate you playing with me, Clay. I really enjoy it.
Oh, playing this with you? Yeah, this has been fun. Especially when we started back with Hurricane.
Yeah.
So down here where I am, let's see, who's on the road up here? So those guys shouldn't even move. Oh, this guy. Before I move him, I gotta come back to him. Anyone in front of him that needs to be moved. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3.
Did I tell you? Oh, I think I told you.
6.
So I found the opening setup map, and then I looked at our map, and I zoomed out at the exact same level so you can see the whole map, and had them both in the exact same spot. And I would click left and right real quick. You could see in one swoop the bulge go and stick out. It's pretty cool.
How many turns in did that happen in? 2, 3, 4.
It was before we played this turn, so it was just. So I did the opening setup, and then I found our last file because we hadn't played it's been almost 2 months because of, it was I think September was one of those months that had the 5th extra week, so we missed that, and then I got nailed with COVID for the next time we were going to play. And then that was like 3-4 weeks before I could even function. So it would have been this file before we started.
Guys, that's 3. Okay, they're going to be back in supply again, which is good. I needed them back in supply.
When I do those videos, I might have some questions on you on some of the German rules, since I don't play the Germans very much.
For
when I do the Wacht Rhein file for the first day,
okay,
I might have some questions on. I can look up most of them, but some of the supply, probably get it down once I've done a little bit, because we played that Hurtgen together, but how they supply their units is different than the Allies. Like their foot units are basically assigned to the core, and you just supply the core for their, unless they have more than one armor or something. I can't remember. I'll read through it too. It'll be good.
so this is what's coming at you.
Oh, I know. Some big numbers there. Holy moly, dude. These guys are not happy.
Oh, and this guy could have moved up with him.
They're entrenched.
Yes, because that guy has been a thorn in my side that needs to be eliminated quickly.
Well, those guys are probably dead this turn. Because I know I don't have enough artillery to shove all that stuff off. I've been moving my artillery back, so they've been slowly getting left behind, because it's like, I can't let you catch my artillery.
These guys can move up. These guys can move. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Actually, I want to stay back here.
I just poked the cage of Jeff, and he's going to watch a hockey game. I said, "Oh, it's kind of quiet without you on here." But I put an LOL after that.
And we'll move these guys off road.
I might download the GOSS 2020 rules on my iPad thingy and start reading those again.
It's supposed to be 2,
Clean up some of the rules maybe a little bit.
4. And into forest will cost me another 4. This is 8 to here. You can go on the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can do 6 to there. Oh, look what I got here, back here. I got all these units.
They're resting.
Oh, I got some tigers with me.
Don't you have to roll to see if they break down or something?
You want to look up a rule? Is there a rule that says that?
I don't know. In BCS, anytime you move a tiger unit, you have to roll, and if you roll a 1, one of them breaks down. Yeah, look at those guys, though. 5s for PRs. Those guys stink.
No, those tigers are going to come in very, very...
Those tigers don't stink, but the guys behind them stink.
Oh, yeah. They're mostly... they're defenders, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Let's see how I'm going to do this. Okay, he can do 1, 2...
Yeah, I don't think I like those tigers too much.
3, what direction? 1, 2, 4. Let's do that.
Yeah, I got to download these rules and start reading and learning more about the Germans, so I know how to play those when I play a little bit. Because the armies play a little bit different, you know. So.
These guys should be here. And these guys can go here. Yeah,
I just on Facebook and somebody's like, anyone know why GMT makes such crappy boards? Thank you and have a wonderful day. It's like, it's like okay. I don't
Crappy
think you
board
really
games or crappy just boards?
boards. I don't know if the boards are that crappy. I guess then what do I know?
Okay, those guys are in place. What is this guy's range? I need to see it. 5.
I never understood. Did you find out that Kev actually liked Hannah, or was he not liking it?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't spoken to him.
He did a video series on it. He did a wrap up, but I never got to hear it.
I don't know. How'd you like it, by the way? Did you enjoy it?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, you have not?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, I
The only thing I've done is I was picking their brain about, because they included the artillery. So I think Joe said just do an ADV of 3 and you're good to go.
Now
I don't wanna
down
play it.
here where I am, I'm about a 5th Army.
Yeah.
This terrain is brutal. This is a terrain I've been having a difficult time with. Oh, let's do this. So that's going to be 3 to there. And
You got the 2nd Panzer trying to get through there. What's that guy? 5? Oh, he's 5th
to
Army.
there.
Yeah, that's going to be rough sledding for you now with 2 airborne divisions in front of you, too. All digging in.
3.5. Another 3.5, and 3 is 6.5, 7, 8.
Easy Company can hear you coming.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So he's going to come out. So that's 1. Wait. So that's 1 to there. And that's another 3, which makes it 4. 4.5 plus another 1.5. 6. Is there a road there? Oh, there's no road. 2. 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's a pretty good mesh you got there for 2nd Panzer to get through.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get the rest of that airborne and that 30th Infantry Division dug in. Took me a long time to get into position there because of all the mud.
Exactly. That's what hurt me a lot. That mud.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Fine.
these guys out. 1, 2,
I feel like we've had at least half of the turns mud.
3.
At least.
3. Which way do I want to go? I can do this. That's 3. That's 3. That's another 3. 6. So
Did you decide on the map you were using? Was it the other guy's, not Joe's, but the other dude, or no?
Oh, I'm not sure yet.
Oh, okay. They're both good.
I know. 4.
Are those guys doing counters, or you got somebody else doing that?
No, I'm trying to get somebody to do counters. 4. 4. 7.
That's some kind of ugly little Stug or something. You got? Oh, it's a Hetzer.
As long as I get them over that river, our river, which has been such a effing pain in the ass. Let's see these guys here. This is huge. I need to get these people across. All right.
Where are you talking?
Over here. These guys here.
Oh, now these engineers you got.
So let me move those guys.
What's with your dudes and on-hand supply back there?
That's what I'm trying to get out of here. Out.
Oh.
They've been stuck back there because of we can do this.
Because of mud or what?
Because of mud. It's 3. It brings me 6 to there. That's 3. And this brings me to 6 to there, 7, 8. Because of the mud, yes, they've been stuck back there. Now we're going to push out.
Well, you killed everything that was on the other side of the Ore River. Oh, it's Panzer Lair, and your HQ is way over there on the other side of the Ore River. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you had pushed out, and then we got into a little scrap there, and the mud got you. I get it now.
1, 4, 5. 5 and 3 is 8. 1. That's 4. I'll go that way. No.
Now I'm getting
4.
dug in behind the Clerf River now.
Now here we come. So he's gonna go. Take the road. 1, 2.
Here they come.
1, 2. But I only can go half my movement. It's 5 to there.
Why can you only go half your movement?
Because I'm on hand supply.
Oh, on the hand supply. Okay. I didn't see the marker on him. I just saw when you moved him. I was like, uh-oh, here he comes.
I'm going to hold that guy back for now. And let's see.
Come to avenge your little
That's 3, 4. 7 to here.
Guess we ticked off Panzer Lair and we knocked out the lead unit.
Do that. Yes, you did. You ticked us.
Now they're mad. I was just looking at your eliminated unit pile, and I've smacked a few armored units.
You have.
Doesn't feel like it. Oh, I don't like to see that. those tanks rolling out.
2, 5. Yes, here they come. So that's 2. That was 1.5. It's 3.5. Oh, yes. It's 3, 4.
What is that thing?
What do you call those? Rocket? I think not the rocket. The ones that SPAs. What is it called again?
Sure. You don't have a lot of those, do you? I have a lot of them for the Americans, but I haven't seen too many German ones. I suppose that was new for Panzer Lehr.
3, 6. That's 3. We can't go on top of this guy. Have to stop there. And
Yeah, I don't like to see them moving. Kind of enjoying them being back there.
Wow, that's tough movement, tough sledding across.
Yeah.
I'm almost.
Do you know what units historically hit the 101st and 82nd? Do you know who they fought against or no?
No, I have no clue.
I'm going to look that up tonight. It's looking like in our game it's going to be Panzer Lehr. I don't think they're going to like that. It's a lot of tanks.
Yes, it is.
All right, I'm going to look that up while we're talking here.
Go ahead. I think I'm almost done with my movement anyway.
Oh, don't rush.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just. What is this guy? Why is he? Oh. Let's get down here. Let's go all the way down to south. Okay. Why is this guy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so they're going to be in supply next turn, which is good.
The 26th Volksgrenadiers established the perimeter around Bastogne. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, let's see. An outpost line on the west bank of the Our.
Oh, there was a. I should have done this down here. A construction piece. I'm going to do it now.
Okay.
On this guy. If he goes around, what is he? 12. 1. So he goes 1, this guy around. That's what the hell? That's 1. That's 4. That's 7.
Well, they did have to fight Lair. Panzer Lair, the 26th, and part of 2nd Panzer, so.
9.5.
Same stuff you're coming at me with.
9.5. And then this guy can go. There's a trail here. What's that on the river? What does it cost? It's gonna cost me 3. Oh, it's tough. Unless I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Jeff said he'll say hi if you call him. Can he call us, or do we have to call him?
You can on our. You see, if you look at your screen on Google Hangout, there's like a little.
Yep.
There's like a little figure. If you click on that figure and you put in Jeff's number, is Gmail.
The little figure. You talking about the
Top right.
top right where it says plus?
Yeah, let me get to mine. Yeah, see that little figure that says plus? If you click that, you can input his name.
Doesn't let me add him. Now he's trying to get a hold of me on Facebook. I can't do 2 chats.
1, 2, 3, 4,
The heck is that?
5, 6.
I did.
You got to do it on Google Hangout.
I'm gonna bring up Steve. I'll be right back.
You can't call him on Google Hangout?
No, he's calling you on Facebook now. On Messenger.
Tell him I sent him an invite.
Yeah, it doesn't show up.
It's
Yeah,
not
he
showing
can't
up?
find it.
No, I just sent it right now. I just sent it.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Well, you gotta send it to Todd too. Tell him to send it to Todd too.
You sent it to Todd Wardrobe?
Yeah.
I can do Todd. Let's see, Todd.
Hold on, I gotta get rid of 6 stars.
I'm trying.
What's going on?
I sent it to Todd as well.
He sent it to Todd, so.
All right. How about now? You hear me?
I see you. I hear
Yeah.
you,
Okay.
Jeff.
I can see and hear you right away.
Yeah, right about the
Sent-
time, Steve, you messaged me. That's when Todd, he sent me the messenger thing for video chat. So I had to, and then I told him you all were playing tonight. He said, "Oh, let's get on there and chat with him." I said, "All right."
Yeah,
gotta-
we
gotta turn his
had
hand.
we had a battle earlier, where
Already?
some artillery battles and some combat.
My American attacks.
He ran
Can
up
you message
against.
Todd?
He ran up
Jeff
against
and see if he got the
I think we believe it was an 88.
We believe. Now, I know how that works.
Yeah. Either that or it was a rail gun.
It was something powerful.
It looked like a little stack, and when I attacked it, it didn't go very well.
Don't mess with 88s.
Clay got a negative 40 modifier on me, and I got lucky because he rolled super high. Otherwise, like he could have like just devastated me. I only took one loss and a retreat.
Yeah, I think I rolled the highest. Rolling a 90. Okay, I think the highest is 100 we can roll. So
Yeah.
couldn't get any worse than that.
Well, you didn't get.
Oh, there we go.
Did you, Jeff? Did you invite Wardrobe? Can you invite him? I don't have him on my contacts.
How do I send? Oh,
I sent it to him. Todd Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I sent him an invite.
Yeah, I just sent him a message saying, hang
told him to
on.
go to Hangouts.
Y'all, you got to start using something else because they're closing this out.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not doing any updates or work to it. They're trying to get you to transfer over to Google Chat, which I don't even know how that exists yet or how that works.
I don't know how that works as well.
I know Todd had to run to the bathroom or something real quick. It might be a second before he gets on here.
I just didn't want him to think we blew him off.
No, we're just on the ally turn. I'm doing my prepared assault, my movement. It's December what? I gotta look at this. It's December 21st.
21st a.m. Turn 17.
I have PM.
Turn 17. 73 possible turns.
I have PM, Steve.
What?
I have PM for the 21st.
It is PM. Sorry, that's the file. My bad. I must not have moved my.
So I have to bring nothing in. I already did it last turn. So I have no reinforcements.
Todd said he'll be just a second.
So I run the 79th.
I better go make sure I didn't forget my reinforcements.
Somebody double click on something so my map will zoom.
Okay. Can you see me?
Gotcha. Oh, man.
Yeah, so I put a lot of PA markers out there, Jeff.
Right.
A lot of attacks.
Right. I gotcha. I'm gluing a piece on a tank and then I'll be right over it.
Do your thing. Did you have reinforcements, Steve?
I'm trying to find them. I can't remember where they are on here. Usually I gotta bumble around for a little bit.
We got lost in the Ardennes.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't I find the friggin' reinforcement?
All right, Todd. I hear you messaging. What's the problem, buddy?
What page are they on? I thought they were on like 67 on the Wacht and Rhein book.
And try to invite to Todd again because he's not play.
What? Okay, I'll do it again. Tell him I sent it again. It's Todd Reed, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Oh, I found the reinforcement list.
You found it?
I was 10 pages off. It's 76, not 67 or whatever. I'll be right back. I was telling Clay I didn't even know you left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the yellow for you.
Oh.
So, let's see here. I believe I'm done with all my movements. me just double check. Let me do this.
All right, 21st. Damn.
Well, I sent him the direct link. He wants to get on here, I know, so.
Oh, this is non-road movement. That's what I wanted to do.
So my case, or not case, but my fall blow from Compass Games arrived today.
Oh, so you're gonna get both of them, Jeff?
Yeah, well, I got lucky and I found fall blow shrink wrapped on eBay for $125, and the retail's 140 and it's out of print.
You should ask
And
me.
then I ordered Kharkov, you know, the expansion, so to speak, standalone / expansion, and I ordered their East Front quad game.
Let me know how that system is. I was always interested in it.
Looks good, I know that.
So you're not going to play the Europa for a while?
Oh yeah, I'm over here punching the Poland one right now. Like, why are we not getting Todd here? What is the link?
Okay, Steve, I've finished with all my movement.
Okay, give me a second. I'm checking an old file here because I think I just named the file wrong. I think we're on the AM turn.
Because my map, not my map, my calendar, I have it set for PM.
I'm wondering if you saw the PM on the... I think I might have named it wrong. I'm just checking through old files to see.
You know how I know it's PM? Because I have right now on the map my reinforcements for the AM turn, and I wouldn't have put them out if we were still in AM.
Clay, let Todd in.
What do you mean let Todd in?
It says he clicked on the link and he's waiting. I bet you I sent him a bad link.
Once I send him an invite, it should bring him right in.
I sent him a link, I think, to an old one. How do I get the damn link to this?
Hey, I'm doing... Tell him he doesn't see my invite.
No, he's not. I have the same problem too. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just pops up.
My question is, does he have me as a contact on his sheet? That's the thing. If he doesn't have...
He's been in here with us before, remember?
Yes, actually he has been. Let me see if I can find him. it this way.
Here we go. Oh, I got copy link to share. Oh, I see it. Hold on. I might be able to do it now. There we go. Let's try that one.
So I was saying, Steve, I already put out reinforcements last time, and it's for December 21st a.m. And the units I have on a board are the ones for my reinforcements. So this has to be PM.
Well, what the heck was I doing?
There he is.
Thanks, fellows.
Hey, Todd.
You're
Hey.
the greatest.
Welcome.
He's trying to get that. He's trying to get that winter northern look there. I see. Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you look kind of scruffy there, Steve. What's that all about?
That was COVID. I didn't shave because I couldn't even get up and breathe. And nobody could see me, so my wife just said, except me. So I guess.
You're the most important one, baby.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just got to look at something, Clay, to see if I did this or if I. Oh, maybe I didn't mess it up.
Look at all those pieces.
So just check to see if you had reinforcements. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing all right.
704.
Let's shoot some tanks.
You missed some battles from before, but I have more battles to do with Steve right now.
All right. I need to zoom in here.
They're going to be located. They'll be located over here
Oh, okay. Got it.
and up here.
Oh wait.
There's a few. They're all over the place. Up north over here. So any place that have PA, you see those markers with the arrow, the red marker with the arrow. That's
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Cool.
Those are going to be where all the attacks take place.
No, we're good, Clay. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so yeah, I got all my reinforcements on. I was just confused because there was a leader that I was supposed to bring on and I didn't see him, so I thought I blew it, but then I found him in a stack. So
All right.
I was
So
worried. I was like,
All that fuzz growing out of your brain.
I finished my quick my movement, so I'm going to just do my quick construction. I'm just going to flip these really quick. Flip them over. They're constructed. And I believe we go into combat. But let me just check for my replacements as well. So, quick construction. You don't have anyone in exploitation.
nope.
Then I'm going to do my combat. So I'm going to do attacker designation. Do I need to put anyone in TA? Let's see. Is there one-to-one attacks that I like to do?
Oh, what time is it? Oh, shit.
Yeah, so you missed my big attacks, Jeff. My 4th Infantry Division, way down south by Dick Weller.
Dick Weller. Oh, I used to play softball with a guy named Dick Weller.
That's a weird name for a town, Dick Weller. Anyway, I barraged him and just devastated him on a barrage pretty good, but then he retreated, and then I attacked at what I thought was a small stack, and there was a nasty, had to have been an 88, motorized somewhat, smashed him pretty good with a -40 modifier. And then up around, if you look at Hex, southeast 3923, you'll notice a bunch of my guys surrounding it.
Right.
The Panzer Lehr unit that was in there is now gone. Some assault guns. which seems to have aggravated Panzer Lair because now if you go up a little bit northeast of that, where the HQ is, northeast of the HQ, they're all pouring over the river now.
So Steve, no replacements I'm going to take, and so you can do your artillery barrage.
Time for defensive artillery.
Time for a defensive artillery.
All right, let's take a look. A lot of prepared assault markers. I see.
We can start up north and work your way down.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay, so we'll do is we'll mark spotter, target, guns. These are all mediums, which I think is 3 guns for me, right?
Correct.
Okay, so first one we're going to spot. We're going to spot with this guy right here. We're going to target this unit. And let's see, for divisional, we'll bring in this gun. I'll bring in this core gun. That's 3, 6. I'm going to fire some rockets at you, so I got 8 firepower. And I got no vantage point, because you're sitting on it. So it's just the roll and 8 firepower plus your C and D, right?
Correct.
Oh, but I could decide if I want to do intense, couldn't I?
Yes, you can.
Ooh, I'm burning an ammo point for that. We'll do an intense. So 8 and 8. So 16 and a 13. You want to tell me modifiers I can type them in?
So you're going to get a -2 because I'm a mixed unit. Nothing on steps, and terrain doesn't matter for us since we're attacking. So it's
14 and 11.
14 and 11. So what is that? What's the damage? A 14 gives me a 2, and 11 gives me a 1. So 3 hits against me. Okay. So I can retreat for 1, and then I have 2 hits left, which gets halved. So I'm going to have 1 step loss when I retreat.
These cameras activate on motion. Todd, we've seen your ass a couple of good times here already.
So, okay, I took my loss.
Does the prepared assault come off?
Yes. I'm just looking at my loss, what I have to
Okay. Well, I couldn't bombard that hex now because they're out of line of sight because of the forest, right? And they're not prepared assaulted anymore.
That's correct.
Otherwise, I'd really like to shell that spot.
I know you would. I know you would. Let's see.
Okay, ADV roll. If you do an intense bombardment, I know it's a +1, but is it auto deplete 1 gun because of the intense?
So you're gonna get a +1 to your roll, plus you automatically have to deplete 1 of them.
All right, so I got to deplete all 3 because I got to do 1 automatically, and the +1 makes me 2 over, so that's okay. We'll take that. Anything to keep driving you back into your hole.
Correct. I would put an AS marker on me, but since I'm the attacker, there's no need for me to put that. Because when you retreat, you get an AS marker.
All right, next one. Well, I think we better do.
So that was just artillery?
We're still doing artillery, yeah. So we're up in the north,
Water.
and
Oh, I got this.
he's gonna try to probably barrage
Target.
every single one of my stacks.
Oh, I got you.
All right, I gotta bring in some divisional. Let's see, okay. Gotta make sure because I gotta bring in a divisional gun first. Where do I got them? Come on, fellers. Getting ugly. Just one too far, Clay.
That works for me.
Okay.
Which number's
One,
the
two,
range?
three. The one right above the first one.
Okay.
Okay, we'll bring in this gun here for 3.
8.
Bring in this. Well, let me see. Bring in this gun for 3. We'll bring in this gun for 2. So that gives us 8 firepower. Do I want to intense bombard that one too or not? Let me go look and see where else are you hitting me. Oh, and you're just growling now tonight, aren't you? Getting ugly. All right, I'm gonna do an intense on that one.
Okay.
Make sure I got. All right, that spends my last ammo point then. So 8 and 8. No modifiers because I can't get anybody on a flipping vantage point. So 12 and 11.
Okay.
Not so juicy.
So I'm a mix, so it's -2. However, my steps are higher, is going to make it total a -1. So 12 becomes an 11, and a 11 becomes a 10. So 11 is a 1, and a 10 is a 1. So I have 2 hits on me. What do I want to do with those 2 hits? Do I want to retreat?
I'll make my EDV roll.
Or do I take them as steps?
Oh, everybody's out of ammo again.
I will take them as a step loss.
Really?
Well, I have to roll to see if I pass on the second one. So the first one I flipped over, and I'm going to
Okay,
roll
what do you need?
pass. So he stays, and let me take, let me get a step loss marker.
Well, you're not goofing around anymore, are you?
No. All right, let me take my losses. And so I lost.
Not goofing around.
And 1 infantry.
How's the move going, Todd?
Well, it's good. Now it's all the details work.
Yeah?
I just emptied a box right now on this call. That's good. That's good, though.
Are you good, Clay? Can I go on?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I already took all my losses and marked it.
Okay. All right, we got one more up here, I think. This will be the spotter. This is going to be the target. I've got 2 guns here that are going to fire. One big division will come back here for 8. Oh, 9.
It's going to be nothing because I have a -2. So
Dang it. All right, ADV. Jeez.
There we go. Waste that. Waste the ammo.
Like drunken sailors on shore leave here.
Blowing up some trees.
Dang it, I really wanted to split that guy. I should have done the offensive one there. What was I thinking? What was I thinking, Clay? All right, let's go down south here a little bit. Let's see, what can I even do here? Well, smoke them if you got them. It's going to get ugly. All right, so this is the spotter. Which pile do I shoot at? I have no idea what's in those piles.
I put a bunch of fake counters in there to make it look.
Did you? Nice.
A bunch of those spades in there.
Nice.
Question marks from.
That's where I'm storing all my spade markers.
Dummy markers from ASO.
All right, I'm going to go after this one right here. I don't know, I might have to pick a different one. Let's see if I can reach it. Nope, I'm going to have to pick a different guy, I think.
Pee while you blow stuff up.
So it's odd. There's 3 different missions. There's a light mission, there's a medium mission, and then there's a heavy mission. And depends on the spotter. If the spotter is, let's say, a battalion, and they're defending, they will be in a medium mission. However, if they're attacking, they'll get a heavy mission. And the mission dictates how many artillery guns you can bring in.
Okay.
Like a medium for the Allies can bring in 3 artillery guns. A heavy for the Allies, he can bring in 16 guns. So you can see the big swing.
Ooh, there's a 15. I put on the same guy. I found guns that could reach him. So 15. Did I lose you?
I'm here.
I got a 15 on your guys on Hex 5329.
Those are not guys. Like I said, those are just counters, spade counters.
Okay, well, how many spades can I get to kill? I'll take whatever I can get.
Fire away.
I'm going to do an unboxing while you all play.
What are your modifiers, Clay?
Oh, you already rolled?
I got a 15 total.
Oh,
I had an 8 plus
15.
the...
Okay. So you will get a +1.
Are you mixed?
Nope, +1.
You're not mixed?
I am not.
Just
So-
steps, huh?
Yes.
So 16?
So it's a 2. So what do I want to do with this 2? If I retreat, I still have to take a step loss. If I stay, I have to take 2 steps. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna retreat. Let me just put a marker underneath. And
You have to retreat everybody that's in there or no?
Jeez.
that whole stack. And I have to mark them.
Steve could have it his way. He does.
Where are we? Are we in the 5th? Yeah, we're in the 5th Army section.
Man, this thing's got like 6 maps. Jesus Christ. Okay, thanks for joining. And that was Fall Wow by Compass Games. The only available one on eBay.
How much did you pay for it?
Retails at 140, but it's out of print. I got that for 125 shrink. I don't think the guy knows.
Okay, so all my guns used up their ammo again, Clay.
Oh, and Rich is sending
Are
me
you
the
going down
missing
more south to
Europa
fire?
games.
Or is that it?
What?
Are you firing now more down south? Or is that it?
Oh, yeah. If I can. Let's see, right there.
Where'd all those PA markers go that were in that area?
Well, it's still there.
I see 2. There were 4.
No, there were 3. He knocked the big stack away. You got a nice shot on him.
Big stack, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this one will be a medium, but I don't know how many guns I can get on you. So spotter is here. That's a lot of stuff to shoot at.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you shoot.
I'm just going to shoot here because it's the bigger stack, and you know I like the bigger stack. But you're probably baiting me then with this bigger stack. Or wait a minute, I got to see who I can reach first. I can't fire at that stack because the only one I can. Oops. I think I can only get a divisional artillery to the top guy. Just double checking quick. Yeah, I have to fire at that one because I can bring this gun. So that's 3. This gun and this gun for 7 is all I can get. And I rolled a 0, so 7
-2.
-2, so no effect. Oh, my guns didn't deplete that time. That's good. All right, moving down south here.
I think that's it.
Was that it? You didn't go further south?
Nope.
Okay, then that would be it. That's all my shooting.
Now it's my shooting.
Yep.
So starting in the north, up here. Let's see
Okay.
what I want to do. That's the target. Spotter. Now I'm a heavy mission, so I can bring in 8. So we can do 1, my own division, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 so far, but let me count up how many. So that's 2. So that's 6 so far. Let me just make a note. Alright, so that's 4, 8. take these two in here. So that's going to be 24. So that's 3 8 volleys.
Whoa.
Now, do I have ammo to add to this for an intense barrage?
What those guys ever do to you?
I have to just destroy them. There is no mercy in the German army.
I see that. Wow, you got a lot of guns in that area.
So
I thought I successfully pushed you away, but I guess not.
I will not spend this ammo point because I need to. So hopefully these 3 will do the damage. I'm going to get a +2 to my ADV roll because I have 2 over the volley. So let's roll for these 3. 1, 2, and 3. So 9, 16, and 16. 9, 16, and 16.
That sounds
Okay.
bad.
And then you have a -3 modifier.
So the 9 goes away. Nothing happens with the 9. And the other one's a 13 and a 13, which will be for you AS1, AS1. So you have 2 hits and 2 AS markers on you. And I will roll for my ADV.
Oh, dude.
With a +2, hold on. With a +2 to it. My ADV is a 3, so none of them are depleted. But these fired.
Okay, so I'm going to take 2 losses and 2 artillery shifts. If I stay, can you auto stay in an IP or is it only an entrenchment?
Entrenchment.
So I'd have to make my check to stay
Well,
there.
The entrenchment, what it is you don't have to make your PA roll.
Yeah, your PR roll, but
PR roll.
that's for an entrenchment, not an IP, though, right?
Correct.
So if I wanted to hold into that improved position, otherwise I can retreat 1 and still take 1 step loss.
Yeah, so you're going to retreat and you'll take a step loss, but you're going to have 2. I have to put 2 AS markers on you because I can come
Okay.
after you.
I'm going to do that because that's restricted terrain anyway. So I'm going to retreat and take 1 step loss.
1, 2, and
Because you won't be able to bring the house on me because you can only fill up that restricted terrain area. So I'll take a chance there versus 2 shots. And that's my plan. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's what I'm doing.
I'll definitely do that. Yeah, I'll come in with them. And these guys will take the marker off.
And then that's restricted, right?
Yes.
I don't know what you got there.
The guys who are attacking is 1 battalion and 1 company.
Okay. I was just reminding you it was restricted because you can always do that for me because I forget that sometimes.
The hell
Okay.
are you so late for tonight? Oh, y'all been going for a while, haven't you?
Yes, we started at 7:10 actually.
Are you kidding me?
7:10. So I finished in the north with my artillery. Now, do we want to really? Yeah, we need to kill this guy over here. This is another pain in the ass guy. Let's see how am I going to do this?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go get a cookie if I got to put up with this.
Yeah, you might as well get a cookie.
I'll be right back.
So you can bring in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can you ship one of those cookies over here to St. Louis? That'd be great.
If I could, I would.
Okay, Steve.
But if we were going to just
Target.
teleport everything, why wouldn't we just go play with each other face to face?
Target. Spotter. Heavy mission, but I can't really bring in too many. So it's just going to be this one and that one. And so all I have coming in, do I have any units that can reach? So it's a 5. It's a 5 barrage coming in.
Okay.
Rolling. 5 plus 2 is a 7, which is not going to be anything. Let me roll my ADV.
Mine was a -3, just so you know.
8. Okay, that depleted. Both of them. I had a feeling they were going to be depleted once I said 5.
I got a feeling you're going to smoke those guys anyway, but whatever.
Let's put this guy back. Wait, it was supposed to move. Okay.
This is a pretty aggressive move for you this turn.
Like I said, I found like little spots that I can work from our battles back and forth that open up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, this guy here in your entrenchment too. We need to do something bad with this guy. Let's see what I can bring. Oh, can he reach 1, 2? Yes, he can. Okay. Target. Spotter. Let's see. Where are my artillery pieces? We have 1 here. It's going to be a heavy. So I can bring in 8 if I can find 8.
Okay.
So that's 1 there. That's 2 there. That's 3. Oh, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to bring in the other division. Some help from the other division to help me out from there.
Yeah, those poor dudes.
And we're going to bring in this guy from our army. So let's add these up. So it's going to bring me 4, 5, 6, 10, 13, 16. So 2 8s. 2 8 volleys. Now, definitely want to see if I have ammo. 2 8 volleys. All right, I'm not gonna spend. I'm just gonna do the 2 8s. It's gonna be a +1 to my ADV roll. After, here we go.
Okay. You have a vantage point? No?
I do not.
So a 9 and 12. Let's see. Mine's a -4 because 2 for the ET and 2 for wounded rough. I can also take 2 for mixed, but I can only take 2 of the 3, so it's -4. So it's a 5 and an 8.
8 is an AS. All right, I'll take an AS. I'll put that on you.
I'm sure you will.
Anything will help. Anything will
And
help.
then your ADV roll has a +1.
I'm gonna roll my ADV. 7.
Is it a
Plus
plus
1
one?
is an 8. My ADV is a 3. So 4 of my units have to be ammo depleted.
Are these guys 3 or 2 ADV? Who has 2? Is it 5th or 7th Army?
7th all the way at the bottom.
Guys, I'm
think-
going to
I think
fail. I'm going
7.
to watch this hockey game. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Be
Who's
good.
that? Who's going?
Jeff. He's out.
Who's leaving?
He's out.
Jeffy went? All right, Jeff's gone.
Quick escape.
So, what did I just say? I said it's a 3.
You had 8.
I had 8.
So 5.
5 of them. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all these. So all these have to be ammo depleted.
Boy, we were both just spending ammo this turn, aren't we? You want to do the combats tonight, or do you want to
No,
start
we'll do it
start
next.
with those next?
We'll do it the next turn.
Okay. That probably works better for me too. I just want to see what you want to do though, because you're an hour later than I am. So.
You have to grab my dinner. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. I only had 4 out there. Oh, 5. Yeah, that's right. It's underneath the combat reserve. So all 5 have been taken care of.
Okay. Is that it for artillery? Do you got more?
That's it. I can't shoot anymore. Perfect. Now we're set up for combat coming up next time.
Right. Let me put a note here.